So last episode we got Bruto's level 2 weapon, and this episode we'll be going back and collecting all the rewards that we've missed so far with Zant, Agatha, and a few other characters, namely Bruto and Sheik. But enough dawdling around because we have 14 levels to do. Oh boy. During this mission I do mention tile coordinates and basically there's only there's a few different ways it could be, but I'll just outright tell you what they are. It's 1 to 8 going down, and then it's A to, I forget which number. It's A to something going left to right, and that's how normal maps are. We're not doing this any other way, so enough dawdling, let's just get into it, shall we? So, we did take a few attempts to do this one only because I had to get a route down, and then the skills I had on Zant's weapon actually mattered somewhat since the first captain, Minna, I decided to put versus Twilight on just so I had a multiplier on her, since for this one killing all of the captains is something you need to do, as it's not something you could just avoid, really. Also, one thing I have learned when doing these is to avoid the bosses as much as possible, really. It just makes everything extremely easier, since you're not spending a lot of time just taking down a single enemy, and then on top of that, they don't give you anything, so yeah. So note, I'm not going straight to the captains. I'm taking down one of the hordes of enemies first before I go there, just so I can rack up a large amount, and then when I'm taking down the next captain, the next lot of hordes appear, just so that makes things a lot easier. Agatha and Lana, oddly enough, are extremely easy, only because they're weak to dark, so yeah, it was just Minna, really. I want to say this was kind of close, maybe? A few of the times were kind of close, but yeah, in total this took 5 times to do. Not the worst horde mission, I'll call it. Yeah, not the worst horde mission, but technically the second worst of the lot. Again, only because I had to find a route through this, as the best way to go about this is just to find a route, spend a few times going through, seeing what spawns what, and let's move on to the next mission as we get our reward for this one. Okay, so our first skeletal mission out of 3 and out of 2 we have to do with Zant specifically, only because he had a treasure along the way in a base. I think for these ones I will flash up where the treasures are in the base, so that way I don't have to okay, I don't have to mention when that is, and then you can see where it is. If you want to follow it along. My absolute favorite type of mission when it comes to standard missions is that when there's 3 enemies, 3 factions, and I would have taken down Girham much sooner, but I was called away to go do something else since the base is just annoying. Most of the controllers here are the bread and butter, as in it's defeat 1200 enemies within 4 hearts of damage. So I will mention that I do skip around a lot since I didn't want to be stuck behind one mission for all that long, so if levels seem inconsistent, that's why I was skipping around quite a bit. Especially with 2 of them, and I did do a few of them out of the order I am going to be covering here, so yeah, keep that in mind. But as the mission wraps up, let's go towards the next one, something a little bit different. Okay, our first giant mission of the lot. This one did take me a little bit of trouble only because Sheik was a little bit underleveled, and as you can see here, I did upgrade her so she has 3 force attacks at once. Only because she has a really good force attack for taking down all of the prison's toes. So that made this a whole lot easier, and then just a little bit of a level boost to make this go a little bit faster, since she could barely take down the imprisoned in 10 minutes, and actually learned that for this one specifically, the A rank time is really generous. Like the first time I did this in like 9 minutes, and I still got the A rank time. It's like, what? Excuse me, how can that be? So I learned that going out of your way to get the force triangles from the force captains is a really good idea. Again, only to make this better. Or like, if she had a better attack for destroying the toes, then probably wouldn't have been a good idea. But yeah, as we wrap down, I will move on to the next one. So our second horde encounter for this episode, this was the easiest only because, surprisingly, Ruto is actually really good at this type of mission, only because I guess of course of her strong C1 when it's at the maximum. I'm not sure if you get the tidal wave if you don't fill it up all the way. I'm not sure, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah. For some reason, they just felt like having manhandlers around. And thankfully, the stage is really large. If it wasn't, I'd probably have to take down a few enemies here and there. Just because. Although I think the hardest part about this is that some of the captains, you don't really want to take them down with Ruto, and in fact I would say that maybe this one is one of the ones where you don't really want to go out of the way to defeat the captains. But like, if they're like in the way, then maybe I can kind of say maybe you should do that, maybe sort of thing. But yeah, oddly enough, this was the only one that was more than 600. The other two are just 600 even. Kind of feels weird to say that, but yeah. So even though Rudy had more enemies to kill, it was easier than the other two. Although then again, Rudy does have easy access to spin attacks, so that makes things a whole lot easier. Just in general. Wrapping down, can also say that I'm letting the magic meter run out to get that attack rather than the guard breaker is probably a better idea. But as Rhoda gets a reward, let's move on to the next one, shall we? So E3 is a trial mission, and I probably would have skipped this if this wasn't something we needed to do. But because this probably would just be a small footnote. Yeah, a small footnote in like the video, the task. Yeah, the marathon that is this video. That's I had 4 hours of footage to sift through to find the correct attempts, or the successful attempts, I should say. Yeah, it just feels weird doing this type of mission on like this thing when like most missions took like upwards of 10 minutes, when this like took I want to say 6 minutes, like not even. It's like what? But yeah, as Zant gets another reward, let's move on, shall we? So the most notable part about this is that I actually forgot that we needed to do this. Yeah, as you can see, this was towards the end of the session of grinding out the missions, and yeah, the level may seem deceiving, but no, it's a real level. Agatha is now my strongest level, the highest leveled warrior, and I have a feeling that we probably won't be struggling with her for quite a while. Although there is one mission where I get a feeling that is going to be insanely difficult to do, since it's a horde encounter, and yeah, doing a horde encounter with Agatha is not fun. It's not fun at all, and yeah, as Agatha gets her first reward. Yeah, I think it is first reward. Let's move on to the next one. So, the most notable thing about this mission is that, this took a few attempts, and, for one reason, and one reason only. The gold skulltulas are, of course, gold, and, sand is yellow, and, at a distance, they blend together, and, yeah, the only reason this took multiple attempts is because I kept missing the fucking skulltula. Yeah. So I might just slow down when the skulltula first appears here, since, I was kind of expecting the skulltula to be on a wall, like on a gate maybe. But no, it's just on the floor, in the sand. It's like, what? So yeah, most of the attempts I saw, like, I got to the skulltula since, I did go over the damage limit a few times, but, I couldn't see the Skulltula. Not only was it just buried in sand, but it was also covered by Midna. I'm very sure that long pause there is just because, I had to check to see where the Skulltula was. Yeah, yeah. Just I really wish the Skulltula would be, or the spider web would be at the middle, or the Skulltula would be in the middle of the spider web, so you could have an even bigger clue as to where it is, since, for the most part, it's not all that easy to see. So we'll slow down so you can see, to see if you can see where the Skulltula is. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I even saw, the only reason I found, I could even see the Skulltula was because, it told me, I found out where it was, and then, it took me a while to just pause, scan the area sort of thing, and, to make this mission fly by a little bit easier, I did end up using Link to, bypass all of this, since, oh boy, did a spell attack make this a whole lot easier, since, it is really widespread. So I think after this I will cut to the part where Link gets the Skulltula. Yeah. Too bad it wasn't Midna. So, you know, let's move on then. Can we get an F for this one, since, this took way too many attempts to do. I don't even have a count because, I did most of them when I wasn't recording, since, I wanted to get a route down on this, and I wanted to try and grind Agatha up a little bit. Going a little bit too far, but, yes, all the advice I've found when researching this mission, says that you shouldn't go after killing any of the bosses, but, because this map is really small, I would recommend killing one of them, or one of the Gomas, since, avoiding one Goma is possible, but, avoiding two, yeah, no. Not possible in the slightest, and I recommend you take out Zant, not Volga, and Rizro, oddly enough, as those two are really easy to kill, and Volga just isn't worth it. Probably might be worth stunning the Goma, just to make things a little bit easier on you, but it's a thing you can or can't do, but you don't really need to do. And this one is a close call because I kind of delayed it a little bit too much here, since just wanted to make it worth my while. Okay, now that is done, let's move on to a series of first tries, shall we? Okay, I want to say this is our last boss mission out of the lot, but I could be wrong. I think I might be wrong, but it's just a few Dodongos after the whole battle with Zant in the Horde encounter, so this is incredibly easy. Not to mention it's King Dodongo, so yeah. This is another just small step in the series in the marathon length that I took to make all of this happen. Oh boy. Although that being said, it was nice to have a little bit of a break in between the hell that some of these were. Especially F4. It's fitting that that was an F. Huh. Anyway, on to G4. Our second out of 3 normal missions. Which just feels weird to say since most of them were special missions, like most of them were just hordes. I think it might have been like a tie between hordes and boss encounters. Oddly enough. Huh. But again, this was an extremely easy mission and sort of a break for me. So yeah, no, that was 4 normal missions. Huh. The more you know. I guess I just blocked out the one with Midna. Huh. Oh well. But yeah, the most notable thing here is that this was the level we unlocked Agatha in. Although that being said, we did have to get the A rank and Zant's rewards here. I think this might have been like the level that, like, one of the levels just set everything, like, set this entire thing in motion. Although, that being said, I would probably rather do it this way. There's something. Words. Words are hard. But yes, I think the level's wrapping up. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm just basing it off the counter. Also, it's weird how there's nothing in the fairy fountain. It's like normally there's at least one reward in the fairy fountain if there are rewards there. It's like what? But yes, as we put Ganondorf through the blender, let's move on to the next mission. The final G, I think. I'm not sure. This could just be H3. Okay, so this is the final boss encounter. And it's King Dodongo again. Although I kind of think it's weird how the attacks still go through in the introduction cutscene, because like this probably would have gone through a lot faster if I was able to stun King Dodongo when I first encountered it. Oh yeah, when I first encountered it. It's like, yeah, why can't you do that? Just feels weird to me, honestly. But yes, we've fought 1,000 King Dodongos by this point. One more isn't any different. So as we wrap down on this one, let's move on to the final 3 missions, shall we? So this was the first successful mission with Agatha of the North. As you can tell, because her level is significantly lower than before. Yeah. But the most notable thing about this one is that there's Dark Agatha here. Also, I could be wrong, but are the Dark versions of character weak to the element? Because like normally a light on light character like this isn't as easy. it doesn't go as smoothly as it did here. But I could be wrong. I'm not sure. So was this not the mission? Like, does the enemy or the character other than Dark Agatha change? Because I don't remember fighting Volga here. But I could be wrong. But anyway, let's move on to H4, shall we? Okay, the final vanilla mission. Oh boy, yeah, final skeletal mission. Thankfully, this time, it's a yellow object in a blue area. So it's easy to see. Thank fuck. Although it is another bomb 2 mission, which I don't like. Only because you do kind of halt progress until you've dealt with the bomb trees. Like after that point, it's a normal mission up to then. And oh boy, I hope that Zant's antics don't cause seizures. It looks like any faster than it might look like it can, maybe. I'm not sure. But yes, oddly enough, the heart piece is in. It isn't one you'd think it would be in. Also, him kicking the shit out of a golden chicken. Like, I'm really glad for Zant's blender attack. Just makes dealing with things extremely easy. It's like, So I could be wrong, but has every Skulltula we've found on this stage so far been up in this little nook? Because like normally it's in like it can spawn in like the tiny corner there, or the like tunnel looking area there. I'm not sure. It's weird. And I want to say this is like one of the first vanilla missions we did. Only because it has a Pyro as a boss, who then spawns in King Dodongo. Oh boy. This is Dodongo 1,000,003 that we fought so far. Yay! He isn't really all that hard. Okay, and final mission time. Let's do this thing. Okay, going back to this mission, which oh boy, I'm glad I did, because Ruta is much stronger now that she has a level 2 weapon, and I feel like, oddly enough, we did encounter a few enemies that I feel like didn't take all to make that much of a difference to beat. Although that being said, we did fight Dark Ruta here, so you know, like fighting yourself tends to be longer than you think. Huh. But yes, the final mission and the final fight enemies, bitch, level. Although I guess this is a bit of a break. Huh. And onto the final encounter with Dark Ruta and Lana at the same time? What? But yeah, now I'm really glad that we've gone back and done everything we needed to do, although there are a little bit of holes that we haven't even touched yet, so I don't know, maybe starting next episode, we'll be going back and doing all the missions that we've missed completely. Yeah. But until then, that's when I'll see you.